My grandfather was a Rav in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And he heard that there was a great Hasidic Rebbe in the Mayo Clinic. Mayo Clinic is one of the more famous hospitals in the world. And my grandfather, being a Rav, said, look, there's a Rebbe in the Mayo Clinic. It's upon me to visit him. So he visits this Rebbe, who happens to be the Kloisenberger Rebbe. The Kloisenberger Rebbe. I don't know if you've heard of the Kloisenberger Rebbe. It's called Kloisenberg Tzanz, Halberstam. Kloisenberg Tzanz. And the Kloisenberger Rebbe was somebody who was a remarkable person. He lost 11 children in the war and his wife. As a matter of fact, he lost 10 children and he was in the same hospital as the 11th child. After the war, same hospital, him and his one remaining child. And then his last remaining child was Nifter, passed away. So the doctors debated among themselves, who's going to tell the Rebbe that there's nobody left? You know what it is to raise 11 children? From infants, bringing them to cheder, giving them their first haircut, bringing them to yeshiva, making their bar mitzvah, making their weddings, all murdered by the Nazis, Yamach Shemam. Who's going to tell him he just lost his last child? Finally, a doctor did. Doctor came in and was crying. Said, I don't know how to say this. You lost your last child. And the Rebbe jumps up and he says a bracha, Atoiv HaMeitiv. Everything that Hashem does is for the best. And instead of throwing in the towel, instead of giving up, he took the most negative thing imaginable in a person's life. We cannot imagine, most of us, I hope none of us here, can imagine what it's like to lose one child. Imagine losing 11. And the Kloisenberger Rebbe said, in memory of these children, I'm going to build an institution, one for every child that I lost. 11 institutions I'm going to build. I'm going to build an orphanage. I'm going to build a shul. I'm going to build a yeshiva. On and on. So my grandfather came in to visit him in the Mayo Clinic. And the Rebbe looks at my grandfather and says to my grandfather, I want you to leave the Rabbanus in Minnesota. I want you to come with me to Eretz Yisrael. My grandfather's a German. He's a Yeki. This Hasidic Rebbe who he just met says, I want you to come. My grandfather says, and do what? And the Rebbe says, I want you to build a hospital. My grandfather says, build? A hospital? I don't know anything about medicine. How am I going to build a hospital? Says the Kloisenberger Rebbe, you don't know anything about hospitals, and I don't, but together we'll build a hospital. Together. So my grandfather left Minnesota, moved to Kiryat Tzanz and Netanya, and built Laniado Hospital. It's my grandfather's house. He didn't know anything about hospitals, and he built Laniado Hospital. The power of positivity rebuilt America. All those Holocaust survivors, instead of giving up, they said, we will show those Nazis that we're back and we're stronger and we're better and we will outlast you with our goodness. Positivity changes the world.